I was supposed to be in Chicago for 3 days. A supplier conference that my business partner Jake had been pushing me to attend for months. Hotels booked, flights arranged, meetings scheduled. Then Jake's father had a heart attack Tuesday morning. He called me from the hospital, voice shaking, asking if I could cover things at the shop while he dealt with his family emergency. Go, I told him. I'll handle everything here. Family comes first. I canceled my flight, drove to the office, and spent the day putting out fires and rescheduling client meetings. By 6 p.m., I was exhausted, but everything was handled. I texted my wife, Nicole. Jake's dad is in the hospital. Didn't go to Chicago. Heading home now. The message showed as delivered, but not read. That wasn't unusual. Nicole was a yoga instructor and sometimes taught evening classes. Her phone stayed in her locker during sessions. I stopped at the grocery store and picked up ingredients for dinner. Maybe I'd surprise her with her favorite pasta dish. We could have a quiet evening together, something we hadn't done in weeks. When I pulled into my driveway, there was a black Mercedes parked in my spot. A car I didn't recognize. Expensive, newer model, dealer plate still on it. I parked on the street and walked up to the house. The front door was unlocked. Music was playing inside. Jazz, the kind Nicole said she found pretentious when I played it. Candles were lit in the living room. 2 wine glasses on the coffee table, both half empty. I stood in my own entryway and listened. Laughter from upstairs. Nicole's voice, light and flirty. A man's voice responding, deep and confident. I walked up the stairs slowly. Each step felt deliberate, like I was approaching something that would change everything. The bedroom door was open. Nicole was on the bed in lingerie I'd never seen before. Red lace, expensive looking. A man was with her, shirt unbuttoned, leaning over her. His hand was on her thigh. I cleared my throat. They both froze. Nicole's face went from flushed to white in an instant. The man turned, confused, then alarmed. Evening. I said, my voice calm. I'm Tom, the husband. And you are? The man stood up fast, grabbing his shirt. This isn't. Save it. I looked at Nicole. Get dressed. Both of you. Meet me downstairs in 5 minutes. I walked back down to the living room and stood by the window. My hands weren't shaking. My pulse was steady. I felt cold and clear, like I was watching this happen to someone else. They came down 4 minutes later. Nicole had thrown on a robe. The man was fully dressed now, car keys in his hand. Tom, let me explain, Nicole started. Who is he? His name is Derek. We met at the gym. Derek. I looked at him. You know she's married? He had the decency to look uncomfortable. She said you two were separated. She said she was just waiting for the right time to file. I almost laughed. Is that what she told you? I swear, man, I didn't know. Get out of my house. He didn't need to be told twice. He practically ran for the door. His Mercedes tore out of the driveway 30 seconds later. Nicole stood there, arms wrapped around herself. Tom, I can explain everything. How long? What? How long have you been sleeping with Derek? She hesitated. 2 months. Maybe 3. And how many others? Her silence was answer enough. Get out, I said quietly. This is my house too. Actually, it's not. I bought this house before we got married. The deed is in my name only. So when I say get out, I mean it. You can't just kick me out. Watch me. You have 10 minutes to pack a bag. Clothes, toiletries, whatever you need for a few days. Everything else we'll figure out through lawyers. Tom, please, we can talk about this. We can go to counseling. We can fix this. There's nothing to fix. You brought another man into my house, into my bed. You're done here. She started crying. Real tears, running mascara, the whole performance. I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. Please don't do this. 9 minutes now. She stared at me, waiting for me to break. I didn't. She went upstairs. I heard drawers opening, closet doors sliding. She came down 8 minutes later with a rolling suitcase and her gym bag. Where am I supposed to go? I don't care. Hotel, friend's house, Derek's place for all I care. But you're not staying here. She walked to the door, then turned back. You're going to regret this. I doubt it. She left. The door closed behind her with a soft click. I stood in my living room, surrounded by her candles and wine glasses, and pulled out my phone. First call, my attorney, Michael Price. A guy I'd used for business contracts who'd mentioned he also handled divorces. Michael, it's Tom Anderson. I need to file for divorce immediately. What happened? Came home and found my wife with another man. In my house. In my bed. Jesus, Tom. I'm sorry. Are you okay? I'm functional. I need to know what steps to take. First, document everything. Take photos of the scene, the wine glasses, the candles, anything that proves she had someone there. Second, change your locks immediately. Third, check your bank accounts and credit cards for any unusual activity. Fourth, don't let her back in the house without a police escort or a lawyer present. Got it. Can you come to my office tomorrow morning? 8 a.m. I'll be there. Second call, a 24-hour locksmith. I need all my locks changed. Tonight. How fast can you get here? I can be there in 45 minutes. I'll pay double if you make it 30. I'll be there in 25. While I waited, I walked through the house with my phone, documenting everything. The wine glasses with lipstick marks. The candles still burning. The bedroom, sheets tangled, her new lingerie on the floor. I took photos of everything. Time stamped, location tagged, clear evidence. Then I checked her bank accounts. Our joint checking showed normal activity until 3 weeks ago. Then charges started appearing that I didn't recognize. Restaurants I'd never been to. A hotel downtown. Purchases at Victoria's Secret and Nordstrom. I went back further. The pattern was there for months. Small charges here and there, easy to miss. But when I added them up, she'd spent over $6,000 on her affair. I screenshot everything and emailed it to myself and Michael. The locksmith arrived 22 minutes later. A guy named Pete with a tool bag and efficient hands. All exterior doors, he asked. Yes. And I want deadbolts on everything. You got it. While he worked, I poured the wine down the sink and threw the glasses in the trash. I blew out the candles and opened windows to air out the house. I stripped the bed and carried everything outside to the trash bins. By the time Pete finished with the locks, it was past midnight. All set, he said, handing me a new set of keys. 5 exterior doors, all rekeyed, new deadbolts installed. I paid in cash with a generous tip. Thanks for coming out so fast. No problem, man. Hope things get better for you. After he left, I sat on the couch in my cleaned-up house and let myself feel it. The anger, the betrayal, the humiliation of another man in my bed. Then I locked it down. Feeling sorry for myself wouldn't fix anything. My phone started buzzing around 1 a.m. Nicole. Tom. I left some things I need. Make a list. We'll arrange a time for you to pick them up with supervision. Supervision? Are you serious? Completely. You're not coming in this house alone. This is insane. You're being vindictive. I'm being smart. Good night, Nicole. I blocked her number. She called from different numbers 3 more times. I blocked those too. At 7:45 a.m., I was in Michael's office with coffee and the folder of evidence I compiled. He looked through everything methodically. This is solid. She had an affair, used marital funds to support it, and you have clear documentation. The house is in your name only. Bought it 2 years before we met. Good. That's separate property. She has no claim to it. What about everything else? We'll split marital assets 50-50, which is standard. But given the adultery and financial misconduct, we can push back on any alimony requests. She's going to fight this. Let her. We have evidence. She has excuses. By noon, I'd signed the divorce papers. Michael filed them with the court and arranged for a process server. She'll be served by end of day, he said. Be prepared for the fallout. The fallout came at 4 p.m. My phone rang from a number I didn't recognize. I answered. You had me served at work. Nicole screamed. In front of everyone. Where you got served isn't my problem. You're humiliating me. You humiliated yourself when you brought Derek to my house. I hate you. I hope you know that. The feeling's mutual. She hung up. 2 minutes later, texts started coming from her friends. How could you do this to Nicole? She made one mistake, and you're destroying her life. You're a cold bastard. I blocked them all. That evening, my doorbell rang. I checked the security camera I'd installed that afternoon. Nicole's mother, Patricia. I opened the door but left the screen door locked between us. Tom, we need to talk. Patricia, I don't think that's a good idea. You're throwing away your marriage over one indiscretion. One indiscretion that involved bringing a man into my house, into my bed, while I was supposed to be out of town. She made a mistake. You're supposed to forgive. That's what marriage is. Marriage is also supposed to be faithful. She broke that part first. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. Nicole made her choice. Now she lives with it. She has nowhere to go, Tom. She's staying on my couch. That's between you and her. Patricia stared at me like I'd become a stranger. I thought you were a good man. I am. Good men don't let themselves be disrespected in their own homes. She left without another word. Over the next week, the pressure increased. Nicole's friends, her family, even her yoga studio owner called me to plead her case. I stayed firm. No contact except through lawyers. Michael called on day 8. Her attorney wants to negotiate. She's asking for the house, alimony, and half your business. I laughed. It came out bitter. She's delusional. That's what I told him. I sent her counteroffer. She gets $10,000, her car, and her personal belongings. That's it. What did he say? He said he'd get back to me. The next evening, I was working in my home office when I heard voices outside. I checked the security camera. Nicole was standing on my porch with Derek. He was holding a duffel bag. I watched as she tried her old key in the lock. It didn't work. She tried again, frustrated. Derek said something to her. She shook her head and pulled out her phone. My phone rang. Blocked number. I answered. Tom, my key doesn't work. I changed the locks. You can't do that. I already did. What do you want, Nicole? I need to get some of my things. My winter clothes, some personal items. Not tonight. I'm standing outside. I have Derek with me. We'll be quick. Derek? You brought Derek to my house again. He's helping me move my stuff. Something in me snapped. Not hot anger, but cold calculation. Stay right there. Both of you. Don't leave. I hung up and called my attorney. Michael, Nicole is outside my house right now with her affair partner. They're trying to get inside. Don't let them in. That's trespassing. I know, but I have a better idea. Can you conference in a locksmith and a few witnesses while they're standing there? He laughed. What are you thinking? I'm thinking they want to be in my house so badly. Let's make it memorable. 20 minutes later, my neighbor Frank and his wife were standing on their porch watching. My other neighbor, retired cop Mike, was in his driveway with his arms crossed. Pete the locksmith pulled up with his van. Nicole was still on my porch, sitting on the steps now. Derek was leaning against the railing, looking uncomfortable. I opened the door and stepped out. What's going on? Nicole asked, standing up. You want in the house so badly. I'm making sure you understand something. This is my house. Not yours. Mine. I know that. I just need my clothes. Pete here is going to rekey all the locks right now, in front of you, so you can watch me make sure you never have access to this property again. Her face flushed red. You're doing this to embarrass me. No, I'm doing this to make a point. You brought this man to my home twice now. The first time was betrayal. The second time is stupidity. Derek shifted uncomfortably. Man, I didn't know this would. You don't get to talk. I cut him off. You're sleeping with a married woman. You don't get an opinion here. Pete was already working on the front door. The sound of his drill echoed in the quiet neighborhood. Nicole's voice shook. I need my things. Make a list. Email it to my attorney. We'll schedule a supervised pickup. But you're never setting foot in this house again without a police escort or a lawyer present. You're a monster. I'm a man who's done being disrespected. Pete finished the front door and moved to the side entrance. Nicole and Derek stood there, watching, as he rekeyed every lock on the property. Mike, the retired cop, walked over. Everything okay here, Tom? Just fine, Mike. Just making sure everyone understands property boundaries. He looked at Nicole and Derek. You folks need to move along. You're on private property, and you're not welcome. We're not doing anything wrong, Derek said. You're trespassing. I can call the police if you'd like to test that. They left. Derek's Mercedes pulled away fast. Nicole in the passenger seat. Frank came over when they were gone. Hell of a show, Tom. Not my finest moment, but necessary. For what it's worth, everyone on this street knows what you did. You handled it better than most would. Pete finished up and handed me another new set of keys. Same rate as last time. Double it. You earned it. That night, my phone stayed silent. No calls, no texts, nothing. The next morning, Michael called. Nicole's attorney contacted me. She's willing to settle. What's the offer? She takes $15,000, her car, her personal items, and she signs away any claim to the house or your business. Counter with $12,000. Tom, 15 is reasonable. She spent $6,000 on her affair. She gets 12. Not a penny more. He sighed. I'll send it over. They accepted the counter offer that afternoon. 2 weeks later, we met at Michael's office to sign the final papers. Nicole looked smaller somehow, tired. She'd lost weight. Her hair wasn't done the way she usually kept it. Her attorney, a woman named Susan Chun, did most of the talking. Nicole just sat there, signing where Susan pointed. When it was done, Susan gathered the papers. We'll file these today. The divorce will be final in 60 days. Nicole looked at me for the first time. Are you happy now? I'm not happy or unhappy. I'm just done. You destroyed my life. I ended a marriage that you already destroyed. There's a difference. She stood up, grabbed her purse, and left without another word. Michael looked at me. How are you holding up? I'm good. Better than I thought I'd be. Take care of yourself, Tom. Don't jump into anything new too fast. Wasn't planning on it. I drove home to my empty house. I'd redecorated over the past few weeks. New couch, new curtains, new everything in the bedroom. It didn't feel like the place where I'd been betrayed anymore. It felt like mine. I made dinner, watched a game, went to bed early. My phone buzzed around midnight. A text from an unknown number. I hope you're happy. You ruined everything. I didn't respond. I blocked the number and went back to sleep. The divorce finalized on schedule. I got the official papers in the mail on a Tuesday. I filed them in a drawer and didn't think about them again. 3 months later, I was at a hardware store picking up supplies for a deck I was building when I saw Derek. He was in the plumbing aisle, looking at faucets. He saw me at the same time. He froze. I walked over. Derek. Tom. Hey. He looked like he wanted to run. Relax. I'm not going to hit you. I wouldn't blame you if you did. I'm over it. Just wanted to ask you something. Did you know she was married when you started sleeping with her? He hesitated, then nodded. Yeah, I knew. Then you're a coward. But you're a problem now, not mine. We're not together anymore. That stopped me. What? We broke up about a month ago. Turns out she was seeing someone else while she was with me. I almost laughed. Sounds about right. Look, man, I know this doesn't mean anything, but I am sorry. What I did was wrong. I knew it was wrong and I did it anyway. Yeah, you did. But like I said, I'm over it. She's someone else's problem now. I left him standing there and finished my shopping. 6 months after the divorce, I met Rachel at a friend's barbecue. She was a nurse, grounded and straightforward. No games, no drama. We talked for hours. She asked about my divorce on our second date. What happened? I told her the truth. All of it. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, "That must have been hard." It was. But I'm better now. Are you? Or are you just saying that? I am. I learned something important. I learned that I'd rather be alone than disrespected. She smiled. That's healthy. We took it slow. Coffee dates, dinners, movies. No pressure, no rush. She met my friends after 2 months. They approved. She's good for you, Jake said. You smile more. A year after the divorce, Rachel moved in. We sat down and had a conversation first. The house is yours, she said. I respect that. I'm not asking for my name on the deed or any claim to it. I just want to build a life with you. I want that too. We repainted together, picked out new furniture together, made the space ours, not mine with her visiting. 2 years after the divorce, I was at a coffee shop when Nicole walked in. She didn't see me at first. She was with a man I didn't recognize, laughing at something he said. Then she saw me. Her smile faltered. I nodded at her, polite but distant. She approached my table. Tom. Hi. Nicole. How are you? Good. You? I'm okay. Getting by. She glanced at the man she was with. That's Ryan. We've been together about 6 months. Good for you. She stood there awkwardly. I wanted to say, if I ever see you around, that I'm sorry. For everything. You didn't deserve what I did. Thank you for saying that. Are you happy? I am. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Good. That's good. She walked back to Ryan, and I finished my coffee. Rachel texted. Still at the shop. Home by 6. Me. I'll start dinner. Rachel, you're the best. I drove home to the house that was truly mine now. Not because of a deed or a legal document, but because I'd rebuild it into something new. Rachel came home at 6:15, kicked off her shoes, and wrapped her arms around me in the kitchen. How was your day? Good. Ran into Nicole at the coffee shop. She pulled back. How was that? Fine. She apologized. I accepted it and moved on. Are you really okay? Completely. That chapter is closed. We ate dinner together, talking about our days, making plans for the weekend. Normal conversation with someone who didn't lie, didn't cheat, didn't play games. After dinner, we sat on the deck I'd built, watching the sun go down. You know what I love about you? Rachel said, "What? You didn't let what happened make you bitter. You could have closed yourself off, but you didn't. You stayed open to this. I learned that letting anger control you is just another way of letting them win. I decided to win instead." "And did you?" I looked at her, at the house behind us, at the life we were building together. "Yeah," I said. "I did. 3 years after the divorce, I sold the house. Not because of bad memories, but because Rachel and I bought a bigger place together. A place that was ours from the start, with both our names on the deed. We moved on a Saturday, with help from friends. Jake showed up with his truck and his usual wisecracks. Mike from next door helped carry boxes and told stories about the neighborhood. As I locked the door of the old house for the last time, I felt nothing but peace. That house had been the scene of my worst betrayal and my strongest moment. The place where I'd learned I could survive anything. But it was just a house. Home was wherever Rachel was. We drove to the new place, unloaded boxes, and ordered pizza for everyone who'd helped us move. That night, in our new bedroom, Rachel fell asleep with her head on my chest. I lay there in the dark, thinking about the journey from that moment I found Nicole with Derek to now. I'd been tested. I'd been hurt. I'd been betrayed. But I'd also learned who I was when everything fell apart. I was the kind of man who didn't accept disrespect. The kind who set boundaries and enforced them. The kind who could walk away from what was broken and build something new. And that was worth more than any apology Nicole could ever give. I fell asleep in my new house with my future beside me, and my past finally, completely behind me.